They were discussing how some massive interstellar objects have been moving through space in strange and unexpected ways, so unusual that a few scientists, like Avi Loeb, have even speculated they could be alien in origin. One of these objects is expected to pass by soon, and while some astronomers think it might be a spacecraft, others insist it could just be a rare natural occurrence. The discovery ties into broader mysteries being revealed by the James Webb Telescope, such as galaxies forming far sooner than current models of the Big Bang allow. These findings are forcing scientists to question long-held assumptions about the universe's age and structure. As one quote by Dennis McKenna puts it, "The bonfire of knowledge expands the surface layer of ignorance, meaning the more we learn, the more we realize how much we don't know." Even our understanding of our own solar system is changing, with dwarf planets, the Kuiper Belt, and the possibility of a distant massive body or even a dead companion star suggesting our system might be more complex than we were taught. The conversation then shifted towards speculation and government secrecy. They noted that a U.S. government shutdown had interfered with satellite imaging of one of these mysterious interstellar objects, forcing reliance on European space agencies for photos. Some claimed the object's motion and gas emissions were highly irregular, and it even seemed to come from the same region as the famous WOW signal, a mysterious 70-second radio transmission from deep space. This led to talk of conspiracy theories, like Jeremy Corbell's warnings about false mothership stories, and then to broader suspicions about political espionage and surveillance. The discussion closed with news that a Trump-era executive order had quietly reclassified NASA as an intelligence agency, raising concerns about whether the agency's mission was shifting from exploration to espionage. Some speculated this change might be related to labor disputes or to the growing dominance of private space companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin, which have outpaced NASA's technological progress. They began by questioning NASA's reclassification as a potential spy agency, wondering why the government would make such a move. One speaker argued that if NASA is launching satellites capable of surveillance, then in practice it already functions like a spy organization. This new label only makes it official. They noted that in films, when intelligence agencies track targets via satellites, it's often not far from reality. NASA no longer sends people to the moon or runs the space shuttle program, so perhaps turning to intelligence work keeps it relevant. The conversation turned speculative, joking that maybe NASA insiders were told aliens are real, that space travel is no longer a priority, and that the agency should focus on something else. They discussed how people who once believed in aliens were mocked or ostracized, and how society often reverses what it claims is true, just like when milk was once declared healthy, only for later research to suggest otherwise. From there, the discussion shifted to Oumuamua, the first known interstellar object to pass through our solar system, discovered on October 19, 2017. Harvard professor Avi Loeb explained that scientists at first assumed it was a comet or asteroid, but it didn't behave like either. Unlike comets, Oumuamua had no visible tail, yet it still experienced an unexplained acceleration away from the sun, suggesting some other kind of propulsion or reflective force. It also changed brightness dramatically as it spun, implying an extremely thin, elongated shape, perhaps like a piece of metal or sheet tumbling in space. Loeb proposed that this unusual behavior could mean Oumuamua was not a natural object at all, but possibly a probe or artifact created by an intelligent civilization beyond our solar system. As the conversation ended, they mentioned that new interstellar objects are already being tracked, one reportedly moving toward Earth at tremendous speed, raising even more speculation about what might be out there. They discussed a mysterious interstellar object that appears to be on a direct path toward Earth, possibly arriving around 2027. The odds of it colliding with our planet are said to be extremely low, especially since it's approaching from behind the sun, making it difficult to track accurately. Scientists are still working out its trajectory to determine whether it will hit, pass near, or simply fly by Earth. The object, named 31 Atlas, was recently observed using data from the Vera C. Rubin Observatory, and researchers estimate it to be about 7 miles in diameter, larger than Mount Everest and twice the size of Mount Kilimanjaro, making it the biggest interstellar object ever detected. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb has suggested it could be an alien probe, while other astronomers, like Chris Lint from Oxford, have dismissed that idea as nonsense on stilts. Still, the object's strange behavior, no cometary tail, an unusual trajectory, and a metallic appearance keeps scientists and the public fascinated as they wait for more data. Professor Loeb compared 31 Atlas to Oumuamua, the first known interstellar visitor discovered in 2017. That object, too, showed puzzling signs. No visible cometary tail, yet it accelerated as if being pushed by some invisible force. Loeb and his colleagues suggested the acceleration could be explained if Oumuamua was a light sail, a thin, reflective structure propelled by sunlight, similar to sails catching wind on a boat. This idea aligns with ongoing experiments in space travel using light pressure instead of fuel. He also noted that a similar unexplained object observed in 2020 turned out to be a rocket booster from an old lunar mission, an example of how artificial structures can behave like these strange interstellar bodies. But unlike that booster, Oumuamua came from beyond our solar system and moved far too fast to have been made by humans. For Loeb, the simplest explanation might be the most extraordinary, that these unusual objects could be signs of technology from another civilization. Hopefully, as one of them joked, they come in peace. They speculated about a doomsday-like scenario. What if the arrival of the mysterious interstellar object coincides with the moment artificial intelligence takes over humanity? Maybe, they joked, some higher intelligence realizes that Earth has reached a point of chaos and decides to reset the game by launching a massive 7-mile-wide object at the planet, wiping out civilization the way the asteroid did the dinosaurs. In this theory, the collision would serve as a cosmic reboot. Humanity and AI would both be erased, paving the way for evolution to start over. The next generation of intelligent life, they imagined, might be designed through genetic engineering, a calmer, more inquisitive version of humanity that values exploration and cooperation over dominance and war. They reflected on how territorial behavior, when paired with high technology, inevitably leads to conflict, perhaps a fatal flaw that makes periodic extinction necessary for the universe's balance. The conversation then shifted to a strange real-life case told by storyteller Mr. Ballin, in which a Mexican pilot during the 1970s allegedly experienced an unexplained encounter. The pilot reportedly blacked out mid-flight, woke up far over the ocean, and began speaking in a trance-like state, channeling what he claimed was an alien intelligence. This voice supposedly warned that humans are the only intelligent species in the universe still engaging in war, nuclear weapons, and mass conflict, and that if humanity doesn't stop, someone will step in. From there, the discussion turned back to space mysteries, particularly the discovery of Oumuamua in 2017, an interstellar object that defied every expectation. Its odd shape, unpredictable motion, and possible return have led some scientists and enthusiasts alike to wonder whether these celestial visitors might be messengers or mechanisms of a greater cosmic plan. Could they be natural phenomena or deliberate interventions shaping the story of life across the universe? Despite progress in modeling how life might spread through space, there are still many unknowns surrounding panspermia. The theory that life on Earth may have originated from microorganisms carried on interstellar objects. Scientists continue to debate questions such as how many extremophiles could survive a collision and whether they could truly seed life on a new planet. Factors like the galaxy's fluctuating star formation rate and the discovery of free-floating rogue planets further complicate the picture. The 2017 discovery of Oumuamua, the first known interstellar object, marked a turning point in this research. Its detection proved that such visitors likely pass through our solar system more often than once thought. A second object, 2I/Borisov, entered 2 years later and behaved like a typical comet, confirming that not all interstellar objects are mysterious. Some of these bodies even reach Earth. For instance, a 2014 meteor, catalogued as CNUS 20140-108, crashed into the Pacific Ocean and was later studied by Harvard's Galileo project. These findings suggest that material from other star systems does occasionally impact our planet, raising intriguing questions about whether such collisions might have played a role in life's origins. To explore this possibility, researchers including David Cow and colleagues used Oumuamua's physical properties, its mass, shape, and estimated density, to create mathematical and biological models simulating panspermia. Their calculations estimated how many interstellar objects might have collided with Earth during the first 0.8 billion years after its formation, the period before the earliest fossil evidence of life. By factoring in cosmic radiation, supernova exposure, and asteroid impacts, they determined the minimum object size needed to shield microorganisms during interstellar travel. The results suggested that the maximum probability of panspermia seeding life on Earth is only about 0.001%, even under the most optimistic conditions. Still, when extrapolated to the entire Milky Way, where habitable planets could sustain life for 5 to 10 billion years, the models predict as many as 10 potentially life-supporting worlds. While these results don't prove panspermia, they refine the limits of the hypothesis and show that interstellar objects like Oumuamua may have played a role, however small, in distributing the ingredients for life throughout the galaxy. The study underscores how astrobiology continues to evolve as new discoveries challenge what we know about life's cosmic beginnings. Astronomers and engineers are increasingly focused on developing interceptor missions to study interstellar objects like Oumuamua and 2I/Borisov, which have offered rare glimpses into material from beyond our solar system. Projects such as the European Space Agency's Comet Interceptor and the Interstellar Object Explorer, IOE, proposed by Alan Stern and his team at the Southwest Research Institute aim to track, analyze, and even return samples from these visitors. Such missions could revolutionize our understanding of how planets and star systems form by directly studying their building blocks without needing to leave our solar neighborhood. Estimates suggest that about 7 interstellar objects pass through our solar system each year, with some temporarily captured by the sun's gravity. Next-generation observatories, like the Vera C. Rubin Observatory in Chile, set to begin operations in 2025, are expected to detect many more, collecting data on millions of asteroids, comets, and Kuiper Belt objects. Stern's proposed mission would focus on determining an interstellar object's composition and origin, examining its coma activity, the gas and dust emitted as it nears a star, and comparing its chemical makeup to solar system bodies. The team suggested storing a spacecraft at the Earth, Moon L1 Lagrange point, where it could launch quickly to intercept passing interstellar objects with minimal fuel, offering a realistic first step toward this ambitious goal. While such missions are still theoretical, they raise profound questions about how humanity might respond if one of these objects turned out to be artificial, a deliberate probe rather than a natural rock. Philosopher John Gertz, in his paper Interstellar Diplomacy, argues that the world is completely unprepared for contact with extraterrestrial intelligence. If a probe entered our solar system or we received a signal from another civilization, Gertz warns, nations might act independently, some attempting to destroy or capture it, others trying to communicate or even worship it. He suggests that a coordinated international treaty is urgently needed to establish humanity's collective response to any form of first contact. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence, SETI, continues to receive strong support, including Yuri Milner's $100 million 10-year commitment, but it faces limitations. Signals can only be monitored for short periods and take thousands of years to travel. Gertz and others propose that an advanced civilization would likely send autonomous AI probes capable of real-time communication instead of waiting millennia for a reply. Whether the first encounter comes as a distant signal or a nearby visitor, the implications would be historic, forcing humanity to unite, react wisely, and perhaps redefine what it means to no longer be alone in the universe.